Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm going to be doing my first of this year at least, Big Finish audio collection update video, first one of 2019. So yeah, it's been about like 8 months since I last did one, and I've kind of got a significant amount for like 4 different piles of Big Finish audios, which will be a ball ache to get back. I'll put back in the wardrobe, as well as what is it? Yeah, trying to find space for them is becoming quite challenging. Granted, I guess I could just download them, but anyway, I think I'll start off with the monthly range releases that I've got, and even if I've reviewed them on the channel, I might go over them briefly just to give you an idea of my thoughts on the episode and that, and maybe when I bought it, if I can remember, and why I bought it maybe as well. So yeah, so first of all we start off with Doctor Who Warlock's Cross, which is 244 in the monthly range. I picked this one up because I really liked the sound of the synopsis. I really liked the cover as well, with Sylvester McCoy in the sort of TV movie 1996 TV movie costume, and that really cool sort of thing. And I picked this one back up in November. So yeah, so Warlock's Cross, put that over there. Then you've got 240 in the monthly range, which is Hour of the Cybermen. I really wanted to pick this one up because it's got David Banks and someone else, one of the other people who were both in Earthshock, Pete Davidson's story as the Cyber Leader and Cyber Lieutenant. So, and it really sounds cool and that. So yeah, 240, and I bought this back in October of 2018, if you can believe it. Those first two I haven't actually listened to. That's why I haven't really given too much in-depth analysis. I Am Bright, and that, which is 239 in the monthly range. I didn't give it that higher rating. I gave it like a 6 out of 10, but I know Pertwee Smith 11 gave it like a 9 out of 10, and I know Host Productions also even put it in his top 10 Big Finish audios of 2018, so I'm clearly in a minority here, and just thought it was okay, sort of above average, not the worst episode ever. Heliax Rift, which is my first Peter Davison story, minus Light at the End here. And that I've listened to Peter's in this, Peter Davison is in Light at the End, but yeah, this is my first proper official one, mainly because I mainly picked this one up back earlier this month, because obviously, I didn't know this, but I commented on the Big Finish Facebook thing, because it said something about some sort of unit trilogy, and I was like, wait, what? And then I realised that I'd already got Hour of the Cybermen and Warlock's Cross, and this is the beginning sort of story, or the first story in the unit trilogy, so I thought I might as well kill two birds with one stone, as it were, get a trilogy, and also my first Peter Davison story, so hopefully that should be a good listen, because I haven't listened to it. Silurian Candidate, 229 in the monthly range. Really enjoyed it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I think Pertwee Smith 11 ended up giving it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I got it back February last year, so almost a year ago now. I got it on my 20th. So yeah. Curse of Davros, I really love this story. I might have given it a 10 out of 10. I can't remember. It's been a year since I reviewed it, if you can believe it. 156 in the monthly range. Really good Colin Baker Dalek Davros story. Really enjoyed that. Army of Death, I have reviewed it on the channel. It's okay. It's not great. It's 155 in the monthly range. It's part of the 8th Doctor and Mary Shelley trilogy. And that, it's, as I say, it's okay. It's sort of a 7 out of 10, sort of above average, I guess, or just slightly above average. The Witch from the Well, I haven't listened to yet, and it's 154 in the monthly range. And then the first story of the 8th Doctor Mary Shelley trilogy is 153. The Silver Turk, I gave a 10 out of 10. I'm at least 110% positive that I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10. I adore this story, really enjoyed it, by Mark Platt, really good. sort of strong starting point for a trilogy. So yeah. Robophobia, I got this back in November as well, so I got this and Warlock's Cross back in November of 2018. 149 in the month range, really good story. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I can't remember, I have reviewed it on the channel if you're interested. 100, which surprisingly enough is the 100th release in Big Finish month range. Colin Baker's story, or 4 little separate stories. You've got 100 BC, My Own Private Wolfgang, Bedtime Stories, and 100 Days of the Doctor. I haven't listened to this, I'm not going to lie. I got it back in either 2015, I think, or 2016. I think it was 2015. It was one or the other Sheffield Comic Cons I went to. So yeah, it might have been the first year or the second year that I went to Sheffield Comic Con. Can't quite remember, that's all. ID, fun little fact, 94 in the monthly range, not that, but it was one of the first Big Finish audios I picked up. This and an 8th Doctor one that might be coming up later on. It's okay. I mean, I think it's a 3-part story. I don't remember enjoying it that much. Sort of okay. It's not great. It was quite a difficult listen. The Year of the Pig I got, I think last year, or was it the year before? I can't remember, but I remember my friend Michael got me it, so thanks to him for that, for getting me this. It's 90 in the month range. I haven't listened to it yet. Again, I'm thinking it's a 3-part story, and that, but yeah, it's longer than 2 hours, so it's 146 minutes. Yeah, oh no, it's a 2-part story actually. But yeah, it's one of the few 6th Doctor stories I have with Peri in it, interestingly enough. Yeah, she's not in a lot of audios, which is a bit odd. Doctor Who Memory Lane, I really enjoyed this story. I want to say I gave it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. I hope I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's a really good story. Really sort of Black Mirror-esque, to give you an idea of what it's like. It's, yeah, a really good story, really enjoyed it. I think the sort of ending to it does let it down a bit. It's 88 in the monthly range, really good 8th Doctor story, and, yeah, really creative, really creepy, and, it's kind of cool. Time Works, 80 in the monthly range, still not listened to it. It's still one that I need to, get around to, reviewing on the channel. Night Thoughts, which would have been good to listen to back in October, background Halloween, 79 in the month range. I have not listened to it yet. It's one of those ones with the 7th Doctor, Ace and Hex, and that. I know my friend Michael over on the YouTube channel Nerd Central, he said he's done a review of this episode, this story. I haven't watched that video yet because I wanted to listen to this myself and then watch his review of it, see if we think the same sort of thing about this story. But yeah, I know he seemed to enjoy it, I think, from what I remember. But then again, he's in a sort of very sort of dark, gothic horror stuff as well. He generally, outside of Doctor Who, likes horrors, so I guess why he would like sort of more horror-esque stories. Live 34, I'm not a fan of this story, 74 in the monthly range. It's okay. I know it's kind of like a better version of Long Game, but I think it was because it's one of the earliest Big Finish audios I picked up from the website, from what I remember. Because I remember I picked up another story, and then I asked my mum which story I should get, and she said, why don't you get that one? And this is the one I picked up, and I kind of prefer the other story I picked myself. Terra Firma, absolutely love this story, 72 in the month range. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10. Really good sort of story, and that, really, really cool. And that, I think in my head, I want to say it's obviously set after Remembrance of the Daleks, I think, in the continuity of the Daleks and Davros. Unregenerated, I think, was the first Doctor Who audio I reviewed last year. I think it was the first. definitely makes me... I definitely feel like it was one of the earliest ones I reviewed last year. 70 in the monthly range. What a cracking story. Really good. Really sort of eerie. It's without spoiling the story, it's kind of like a classic... If classic Doctor Who did The Doctor's Wife, but mixed it with the sort of gothic horror nature of the sort of Philip Hinchcliffe era, but had Sylvester McCoy and Bonnie Langford as Mel. She's really good in this story, actually, I might add. And that, like, really good. And Sylvester McCoy's awesome in it and gives a really good performance as this sort of mad, unhinged Doctor. The Juggernauts, really good story. Enjoyed that one. I think I gave it either a 9 or a 10. Colin's amazing in this story. Terry Malloy as Davros. You know, everything just works, I guess. 65 in the month range. The Last, which was one of the first ones I ever picked up from Forbidden Planet. I got this, an ID from Forbidden Planet. I preferred the cover of ID over The Last, and yet the irony is that I like the story of Last a lot more. 62 in the monthly range. I think this one's part of the Divergent universe. I should have probably added with Terra Firma, that's the last one. Oh, that one's the first story, sorry. That is outside of the Divergent universe, from what I understand. So 62 in the monthly range. Scherzo, 52 in the monthly range. Phenomenal story, considering there's only 2 people in it. Phenomenal. McGann and India Fisher are just insanely good in this. And I know my friend Michael got Paul McGann to sign his copy of Scherzo, which, you know, because it's, I think he said it's his favourite 8th Doctor story, if not favourite story, out of all of Doctor Who. I'm not sure about that, but I should probably ask him about that. But yeah, just phenomenal. Robert Sherman, what a brilliant man. My last one, which is my earliest one in the monthly range, which is 31, Embrace the Darkness. This was the other one that I was on about when I was on about Live 34. I kind of prefer this over Live 34. Really good story. It's kind of like, I guess, Nicholas Briggs trying to get to where Robert Sherman is with sort of Scherzo, I guess. And that it's kind of like his version of that story, I guess, but not as good. But, you know, it's okay. I'd give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I think I have reviewed it on the channel. So, moving on to this miscellaneous pile, I guess, of just random shiz, as it were. I've got Doctor Who, The Light at the End by Nicholas Briggs, 50th anniversary. I know lots of people don't like this story. Batman March and Billy Garrett John, and I think J.Arkham Reviews, if not maybe Pertwee Smith 11. But I think that the main consensus among fans is that this isn't a great audio, and yeah, I really like it. I think it's a really good multi-Doctor story, even though clearly I'm wrong, but meh. I, as I say, really enjoyed it. I don't prefer it over Day of the Doctor, but I like both, but for different reasons equally. Let's just say that, I guess. Next, I've got Cold Vengeance, which I picked up back in October. I got this and Hour of the Cybermen. Really wanted to hear Billy Piper on audio, see what that was all about, as well as the Ice Warriors and how David Tennant would be with a classic series monster as well, hence the reason why I got it. It's the 3rd episode in the 2nd series of David Tennant audios. The 1st episode of the 1st series of the David Tennant episodes with Catherine Tate was Technophobia. Really enjoyed that story, from what I remember. And I've reviewed both of those 2 David Tennant ones on the channel. Idavros Guilt, haven't listened to it yet. Idavros Corruption, still haven't listened to that one yet. Idavros Purity, really, really strong sort of cliffhanger. I'm moving, kind of trying to get through this really quickly because my battery's running out. Purity, really good story. The cliffhanger's really good. Innocence, really good starting point, really good opener to the Idavros series. These are wrong way around for some reason. Blood of the Daleks Part 2, haven't listened to this in a long time. Blood of the Daleks Part 1, again, haven't listened to it in a long time, or reviewed them on the channel. Invasion of E-Space, Have listened to it, but haven't reviewed it. Kept trying to review it, but then for some reason it wouldn't ever upload on the channel, so kind of gave up on listening and reviewing it. Really like it. It's a decent story set in season 18. Tom's last sort of season. Time Vampire, really good episode with Leela. I have reviewed this one on the channel, and this and Invasion of East-Space are my only two companion chronicles I currently own in my collection. The Jenny box set, it's okay. I mean, it's probably the weakest box set that I have listened to in my collection thus far, but it was a decent sort of idea and experiment, I guess, on Big Finish's part. It would be interesting to see where a second box set would go, if they do ever consider doing a second box set. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Moving on to actual box sets, you've got Gallifrey Time War box set volume 1. I have reviewed this on the channel. Really, really good Gallifrey sort of set piece and story based around the Time War and that. Really good. Like, most of the main characters on the cover all give really solid, amazing performances, and I can't wait to pick up and or pre-order Gallifrey Time War Volume 2, which comes out in March this year. The War Doctor, Casualties of War, last one of the War Doctor ones. War Doctor, Agents of Chaos. The War Doctor, Infernal Devices. I haven't reviewed any of the War Doctor series on the channel. I'm planning on trying to maybe marathon all four of the box sets and then review them all, and then do like an overview of the whole series. War Doctor, Only the Monstrous, first box set, so that's all four of the War Doctors box sets. Time War, or the 8th Doctor Time War box set, Volume 2, or second box set. I haven't listened to this, of this recording, and that, but I'm excited to do that. The 8th Doctor Time War Volume 1, I've just reviewed that a while back on the channel, so if you're interested in my thoughts on that, please do check that video out. Got this not last Christmas, but the Christmas before that, so back in 2017. I think I got that and Curse of Davros then. And then Dark Eyes, the first Dark Eyes, which was one of the first things I ever listened to Big Finish wise, which was because my friend Michael, he bought Dark Eyes and then let me listen to all four of the stories and that. And yeah, then he ended up rebuying the first box set for me as well. So yeah, like, awesome present from him. Might have got it for a Christmas or a birthday, I can't remember, but yeah. Then on to like the Tom Baker stuff, save the best to last, I guess. Tom Baker stuff, I've got Tom Baker at 80. I have reviewed this on the channel. Really cool interview, and that. The 4th Doctor Adventure Series Volume 2 with Sutekh. I haven't listened to any of these stories, but I'm planning on maybe listening to this box set in February, so next month, and that because I got this in December, so that's why I didn't ask or buy any other, I didn't buy any other Big Finish audios in December because I already bought that. As well as Heliax, or the Heliax Rift, I picked up The Silent Scream, which is the 3rd episode in Series 6 of the 4th Doctor Adventure series. It's okay. It's based around sort of Season 18, this series, or this season even. It's okay. It's probably second bottom of the 4th Doctor Series 6. The Eternal Battle, probably the best one of Series 6 so far. I've reviewed each of these. I gave that one a 7 out of 10. I can't remember what I gave the Eternal Battle. Beasts of Kravanos, I think I gave a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. It's okay. War Against the Lan. Can't even really remember much about it, but that's part of Series 2. That's Episode 3. Episode 2 of Series 2, Sands of Life. It's okay, I guess. And then the Antimatter, I think I gave that one a 6 out of 10. Series 2, Episode 1. Because every series opener so far for the 4th Doctor Adventure series, so Antimatter, Beasts of Kravanos, and the Destination Nerva, I've given all three of those 6 out of 10s, I think. The Obsidian Adventure. Yeah, it's okay. It's kind of like a sequel to Android Invasion, so if you're a big fan of that, you'll like that episode. Trial of the White Worm, really decent setup and good story, 1.5, so the fifth story in the Fourth Doctor Adventure series, the first one. I mean, with all these, the first series, because I've got all all 6 stories of them. I've done an overview of each of the or all of the stories. I've reviewed each story individually, and I've done an overview. So if you want more of an in-depth idea of what I thought of each one, Energy of the Daleks, the first one in the Fourth Doctor Adventure series, I picked up because it has Daleks. So 1.4 in the month range. Really enjoyed that one. The Wrath of the Iceni, really enjoyed that one, 1.3. The third story in the Fourth Doctor Adventure series, really enjoyed Wrath of the Iceni. The Renaissance Man, I remember Michael saying he didn't enjoy the story. It's episode 2, but I really enjoyed it. Destination Nova, the first story in the Fourth Doctor Adventure series, it was okay. It wasn't great. I mean, I know originally they had planned to do the first series of Fourth Doctor Adventure series episodes with Elizabeth Sladen, but she wasn't. She'd passed after, whilst they were planning this series, and by the time Tom decided to do Fourth Doctor Adventure series and that with Big Finish in 2012, Elizabeth Sladen had unfortunately passed away, so yeah, so they had to do a lot of that first series around Elizabeth Sladen, but yeah. So that's like all of my Big Finish audios. Hopefully you've enjoyed this humongous long ass video, and if you've stayed till the end, I love you very much. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.